what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Brothers in Tech is a weekly podcast focused on personal and home technology, helping provide you, our fellow brothers and sisters in tech, with some information, assistance, and recommendations. If you're tech fans like us, you enjoy seeing cool and sometimes crazy ways that technology can solve a problem. And what better place to let those fascinations run wild than the Sharper Image catalog? In this episode, the brothers select items from the catalog that they either wish they had, wish actually worked as advertised, or think that the other would enjoy, and then of course try to poke holes in each other's ideas. Tune in to see which of these picks actually earns a maybe from the brothers.
Hello, and welcome to Brothers in Tech, your weekly podcast for technology, for home solutions, for home efficiency. We are here on the Mesh.tv podcast network, and surprise, surprise, there are actually two actual brothers on this podcast. Those two brothers, one of which is very handsome, one of which is very smart, one of which the mother and father of them actually enjoys being around, and the other is Alan. Alan, how are you doing today? You doing good? Are you doing good?
I made the mistake of saying, "Hey, Brian, why don't you introduce the show this week?"
Thought that was great. I thought that was great.
And this is what happens when I do that. No, I'm doing fine. I'm doing
good,
fine, Brian.
Good.
Thanks for the warm, friendly opening.
I guess I didn't say this is your new host, right, Brian, on the West Coast, out here in Oregon, and I am a professor of kinesiology at Pacific University. I am a product director and consultant with Synaptic, a sensory technology company. And I am just a lover of technology, someone that dabbles quite a bit and has probably no business doing this podcast whatsoever. But yet, I am the brother of the tech person on the other side of the coast. I say that. Other side of the coast. You're not on the other side of the coast. You are on the other coast. You are on the other coast. Yeah. See, I am screwing this up left and right. But we're going to keep going. We're going to plug on.
You really are. Yeah.
So I'd like to introduce my brother, the other half of this podcast, Alan Jackson. Alan, I'd like to be able to say all the things that you do, but that would take way too long. Alan's a media producer, a director of all things media. He's a I don't know. You do so much. Actually, you know what? Honestly, I don't even pay attention when you normally say what you do. So, would you mind saying it real quick? What are you?
No, you pretty much got it.
Okay.
Media producer, survey
media.
research, data analyst, podcast producer, film society manager, film festival director,
and former host of Brothers in Tech. So
the former. Yeah. Now I'm just the featured guest, and now I'm here in a featured capacity. So what are we doing here?
Gosh. Alan, all I prepared for was the intros.
So we have nothing else planned.
No. Actually, I'm super excited about this, and just like pretty much every episode that we have, I'm the one that came up with this idea, and I'm pretty excited about it. And if it goes south, then hopefully you'll edit it to make it seem decent. But so as everybody knows, the goal behind this podcast has been to try and help the family members, the daily home technology, the people who will get calls regarding tech problems within your family, the ones who are just excited and interested in finding new ways to use technology within your home. We're not teaching high-level things here. We're not looking at. We're not talking about coding. We're not talking about product. Or the actual resource development. We are talking about what can you buy and put in your home, and what should you be downloading, buying, using to make your life a little bit more efficient. Okay, what works, what doesn't work. Yeah. So, given that, Alan, I thought it would be incredibly cool for us to take an episode here, and we'll see if it works. But given that we talk about efficiency, we talk about ways that technology can be used more effectively. I know you because you and I have traveled together as kids, and I remember us being on the plane together and spending time reading none other than the Sharper Image catalog. And
Oh, yes.
yes, the Sharper Image catalogs. For a tech enthusiast, that's kind of like the aspirational catalog, isn't it? Right? It's
Well,
about the daily technology of ways that things
yeah.
potentially can help us live our life better.
Honestly, the Sharper Image catalog is consolidates everything you and I have been trying to do with the show that we do and what we talk about on a regular basis. Is all personal home technology. It's sometimes pushing the boundary as far as ideas. It's sometimes taking ideas and merging them with other concepts that don't really make sense why you put these together, but they decide to do it and somehow it might work. But here's the thing, Brian, is that I think we realize with the Sharper Image catalog, as cool as the ideas are, as cool as the things we saw in this catalog, I don't think we ever actually bought any of them. Am I correct in saying that?
I have not bought anything from Sharper Image catalog ever. No.
Now, and I think there's a reason for that. I think it's because although the ideas are great, sometimes you question the implementation or the quality of what you're going to get from it. Now, I'm not sitting here bashing Sharper Image. I love that they exist. I think it's great. And I think every once in a while, there are some products in there that I think, yeah, that probably would actually be pretty cool and I should probably get it. But there's a lot more of these products that are ones that, oh yeah, these sound really cool. The idea sounds amazing. This is exactly what I need in my life. But you just worry about, is it really going to do what you expect it to do? Or is it really going to do it in the best way possible? Right?
Yep.
So that's what we're going to do with this, right? We're going to just take some of the Sharper Image items. You and I each take a couple of them, ones that we find to be the most interesting and like, hey, this actually
Intriguing.
could be cool.
Yep.
But let's throw the word of caution on why maybe the way the Sharper Image version of this product is maybe not the best fit for day-to-day use.
Right. Yeah. And I think, it's important to note as a kid, you look at this and think, well, of course, that looks fantastic. Why didn't I think of that? Right. I should get that. Okay. But then as an adult, you start realizing, well, this is a catalog full of lots of different things that were probably developed by someone, but not followed through in terms of the implementation. So Sharper Image maybe took it on, or maybe they bought up the stock of them and is reselling them themselves. So yeah, there's probably some issues, or at least it certainly kept me from buying a lot of things. But in terms of inspiration, I always loved looking at this catalog, and I still do. I still love looking through.
Let's use the Sharper Image catalog as kind of like you said, our aspirational technology. What is it we hope we would love to see technology do more of, or certain products we'd love to see exist? Just maybe better implementations, better versions of them than what you would find in this catalog.
Yep. Right? Yep. So we've each prepared two of these, right, Alan? So we're gonna go back and forth here. We've got two that we think would be really interesting if it actually worked the way it's supposed to work. So, and we do not know what each other has chosen. So I actually chose several because I have a feeling you and I might have chosen the same one. So
we might have overlapped.
I'll slide to another one. So Alan, why don't you start us out? Tell me one thing from the Sharper Image catalog that you think looks awesome and you really wish it worked the way it was supposed to work.
All right. So we've talked in previous episodes, Brian, about our love of scanning documents to have digital documents instead of paper. The idea of scanning quickly, whether you're using like nowadays your phone to kind of quickly scan something, or you use a more traditional hardware scanner. But something about this product that I'm going to tell you about in the Sharper Image catalog intrigues me. It's a wand scanner. Okay. And let me describe it because I know this is an audio podcast. It looks like a little short wand, like a little, maybe half an inch wide, or no, maybe like 3/4 inch wide wand. And it's, I'd say maybe 6 inches long. Okay. And it is a scanner. And what they're pitching it as is this is a convenient handheld scanner you can take anywhere. And you move it slowly across any photo or document to make a high quality JPEG or PDF, in as little as 10 seconds. Now, all the scans are stored on a little micro SD card on the wand and can be hooked up to your computer via USB and transferred back. Now, why do I like this idea? Why, Alan? I can hear you already, Brian. You're saying, Alan, your phone will scan documents. You have your phone with you all the time.
Yeah, I was thinking more like, Alan, you're an idiot. But go ahead.
Yeah. But something about it being a separate device. I don't have to worry about using my phone everywhere. It's just like, It's like, here's a photo. I'm looking at a book. Oh my gosh, I like this photo. I want to scan it. Just something about having a small little wand that can fit in your pocket somewhere and just be like, zoop, and you just like kind of move it across the image and it scans it. And you don't have to worry about stopping what you're doing on your phone in case you're, listening to something or you're doing something else or you're needing your phone for any other activity. I like this idea of it being kind of separate. Mm-hmm. But now, here's where I see some problems.
Tell me the downside.
Here's the downside I see. A, it's $120. Okay. So first off, I think it's pricey.
Yep.
Two, this puts a lot of stock in you as a human being able to manually swipe over things and make sure you've got a good high quality scan of it. I would have some concerns about how robust the image quality is going to be. Is it going to be a straight scan? Is the image going to look good when you're done scanning it? Is it going to be based on how you move your hand across it? There's so many question marks with that I think are a little, could be some problems there with that.
Yeah.
And then it's the fact too, hey, look, we have a phone that acts as a really good scanner these days. This is using a micro USB, which means you've got to hook it up via USB. There's no wireless transfer, so you're having to carry more cables around, more adapters and all. But I tell you, something about the idea of just a simple, standalone little handheld, almost like the size of a large pen, to do scanning. I mean, that's the stuff from like spy movies and some in the past. I mean, it's pretty cool. So
yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah. I could definitely see 10 years ago being really kind of excited about that. And quite honestly, I was probably a couple of years ago even looking for, the really thin paper desktop scanners, the ones that take up very little real estate. You slide a piece of paper through and still scan it. I still thought that there was a use for those sorts of things until, of course, the last few years of using the phone. But I like the idea, right? I like the idea to be able to use that. Obviously, I think it seems to be useless for most people. So, could you think of anyone that should buy this, Alan? Think of a scenario where someone says, "Okay, in my unique situation, this would be incredibly helpful."
Right? Yeah, sure. Let's go for that. Somebody who is very anti-smartphone. Mm-hmm. Somebody who says, "You know what? I don't want to deal with a smartphone. I don't want that in my life. I just have a simple flip phone that all I'm going to do with it is answer phone calls or whatever it may be." And they needed something that they still feel the need to scan photos and text and documents on a regular basis. Yep. If you don't have a good quality mobile phone with you, then there's still a need to have some sort of scanning capabilities on the go. I could see.
Right. Right. So that's that person that isn't tech savvy enough or tech interested enough to have the phone.
Right.
But is tech interested enough to not want to have to take paper copies everywhere they go and take everything that they have and write it down. Right.
I know I basically described a group of 4 people.
There's 4 people in the Midwest that I think are going to love this.
Yeah. And I agree too.
Of course, they're not listening to this podcast, but surprise.
It's $120. Although I will say, keep in mind, I'm doing a little plug for Sharper Image right now as we record this. Site wide, they're having a 20% off discount. Promo code savings20. You heard it here on Brothers in Tech, and you can use PayPal to pay in 4 interest-free payments of $30 each. Wow. So there's a lot of options here for this. I just love something about the idea of just saying, and take your. I'm doing for those of you on the audio podcast.
Can you do that again?
Yeah. I'm going with my little pen thing, just kind of swiping across things to scan it. I don't know, something about that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I like the idea, I like the motion. But if you have a good quality smartphone, this is pretty useless at that point.
Can I also say, as the new host for Brothers in Tech, that Alan just did the shoop movement. outside of the video frame of what I can see either. So he's basically doing that for himself. Nobody else can see that. Nobody on the podcast,
for my
and
own
not even the brother.
my own personal enjoyment.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Last
So
thing
Alan,
last thing I'll mention about this is maybe a little problematic. Well, no, I guess I'm not going to say this is problematic. It comes with a 16 gigabyte micro SD memory card.
Mhm.
You know, in all honesty, nowadays, I mean, you could be scanning a lot of things, and 16 gigs, I guess, is probably enough for doing a decent amount of scanning. But I was going to say it's like a fixed amount, but it's not. You can swap out different memory cards. It doesn't say like what the maximum capacity card you could get, but if you scan a lot of things with the one scanner, you may be having to offload it to your computer a lot more frequently.
Yep. No, I get.
All right. It does come with a carrying case it comes with a carrying case and a cleaning cloth in case you're interested. In case that makes it a little bit more worthwhile for you.
So that's worth the $120 then.
Yeah, there you go. Right. So that's my first attempt. Hey, this is the first time we've done this, Brian. I'm a little rusty. I can do better on the I go ahead. Well,
I don't know about rusty, but that's certainly setting the bar low. So that's good.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, Alan, I'm gonna direct your attention to page 24 in the current Sharper Image catalog.
There's a print version I can look at.
Oh, so that's what I sent you in a link, right? So you're actually just scanning through the website, aren't you? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I'm doing.
All right. So I'm skipping through the PDF, but anyway, regardless, I'm gonna send you somewhere on the website here. So this particular device intrigues me because I have found that this is something that has annoyed me over and over and over again over the years, and which is, of course, what Sharper Image is all about, right? Mm-hmm. It tags into that one thing that you get annoyed by and provides the solution for it. So I am going to I'm going to talk about the Easy No Spill Fuel Pump. The Easy No Spill Fuel Pump. All right. So what this is, so let me set up the problem that this is supposed to solve, right?
All right.
Say I have a lawnmower that takes gas. I have a gas tank, or I have a gas can, right? Mm-hmm. I have to fill up that lawnmower with a gas can. I have to turn that gas can over to try to get it into the opening for the lawnmower, said lawnmower. Mm-hmm. And of course, what always happens is spilling gas onto the lawnmower, all around it, trying to get it in there. And then also the seal around my gas can tends to leak every time that I use it. So there always seems to be a mess at the end of this. Right now, I say that always, and that if you'll think back to our previous episodes, I have an electric lawnmower, so this really isn't that much of an issue anymore. But if I did, I think this would still be pretty annoying. So what this is, of course, I'm looking at it on a picture here, the size of, I don't know, a bar of soap.
Yeah,
a size of a bar of soap.
Very good. Very good description,
Thank you.
Great job.
Yeah, thanks.
That's what a host
does.
That's exactly the item I was going to use for comparison purposes.
Nice.
It was great. It's very visual. I got it. I've got it.
So the bar of soap that screws onto the gas can, which I assume, actually I'm looking at pictures now, has a tube that goes into the gas can, right? Yep. Resides at the bottom of the gas can, screws on to the opening of the gas can. And outside of this bar of soap box is another tube that goes to wherever you're trying to send the gas, right? Yep. It's got, it takes AAA batteries. You put in batteries, you click the on button, and then it becomes its own pump to suck the gas out of the can into wherever you are sending it. All right. The beauty should be fairly easy to keep from spilling everywhere.
Right.
It should also keep for maybe the older couples out there, the older individuals that may not want to lift a gas can, right? Mm-hmm. It keeps you from lifting it.
Sure.
Right? Yeah. So if you've got a full gas can, you might be able to, if this was something where you were trying to put gas into a car. Have you ever tried to put gas into a car from a can, Alan?
Yeah, it's no good.
Okay, I was going to say, I've never done it, but I can't imagine it's that easy, right?
No, it's actually more complicated than you would think because the nozzle of your gas can has to go past a certain point inside it's a mess. Yeah.
Yep. So I would imagine this would be helpful for that scenario, right? You set it on the ground. You've got the tube that goes up to
Sure.
the gas tank, and then you turn it on, and it sends the gas up. It becomes a miniature little pump. So
Okay.
it is
All right.
$79.99, and that's
That's $80.
that's four
make sure it's
interest-free payments of $20. Alan.
Yeah, it's not $7,999.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Make
Yeah,
that's clear.
exactly
$80.
$79.99. Correct.
Okay, good.
It is in stock, just in case you were wondering.
Oh, yep, good.
Yep, good.
Check.
And,
So, Brian.
Okay.
So, all right. So,
Talk to me.
You've tried to sell me on this.
Yep.
And you did a good job of selling me. I mean, I'm already seeing the positive application use of this device.
Have you already ordered it? Did you just order it?
No,
Okay.
because I got to go back to the root problem. So you have issues pouring gas from a gas can into a larger hole on the lawnmower gas tank. Is this what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay, so Brian, I feel like maybe you should order like 5 of these because you may need one for your milk container at home when you're pouring milk into your cereal. You probably need to have one on your milk. Probably need to have one on any other beverage that you may pour into a larger hold item like a cup.
Oh my God, you laugh, but how cool would that be to have like already on your milk container? You go into your fridge and you press the little go button, and this thing starts shooting out milk into your glass.
I'll do you one better.
Okay.
Why not have, if you buy like a 2-liter of something, or you have bottled water, or you have whatever in your fridge, you put one of these contraptions on each thing you have. Okay.
Yep.
Each bottle of something.
I like where this is going.
You wrap them, you fuse them together into one pipe that comes out of your fridge. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow you able to choose which larger canister you're wanting to pour liquid from. And then you just take the little hose and you just drop it into either your cup or your bowl or whatever you're needing. And you press the button and voila, milk or Sundrop or bottled water, whatever it may be, comes into your cup.
Okay. Hold on a second. I'm searching to see if they have a Bluetooth version of this. Because that would be awesome.
Now, but let me get back to the original question, Brian. This device sounds interesting, but yet I also feel like it's adding a lot more complication to what's a relatively simple process.
Yeah. No, but see, my thing is that I don't think I've ever had a gas can that hasn't leaked. And the reason it leaks is because when you turn it up to be able to pour it into whatever, right? Or, you actually go in. I don't know if your gas cans are like this, but the ones that have the nozzle that can actually be flipped upside down into the tank to close it up fully, right? Well, that just requires you to then take it out after it's been shaking around and having gas on the end of it and everything. It just, I despise having gasoline on my hands, on my fingers, on the ground around me as I'm using these sorts of things. It just seems like I'm always making a mess. Now, is it because my dexterity is horrible? Maybe. That's quite possible. But if me, who I assume is not that unique and having bad dexterity issues with a gas can like that, this could be a way where that gas can never has to be turned on its side, never has to be even lifted up, right? As a way of kind of, so I'm imagining, let's just say I have a gas powered lawnmower, okay, which I don't, but let's say I do. Let's have a gas powered lawnmower, a gas powered hedge trimmer. I have a gas powered something else, right? If I had my gas can, a large one, let's say I actually get a large one, big 5-10 gallon gas can in the corner with this device on it, with the tube up there, almost like I'm at a fuel station. I roll my lawnmower over to it, take the tube, drop it into the lawnmower, turn the little, turn the device on, it starts pumping, and turn it off, pull it out, hang it up, and all of a sudden it's pretty nice and clean, nice and simple. I didn't have to carry anything. I rolled it over there.
Yeah,
To me, this is one of those that the downside is whether it actually works the way it's supposed to, and
Well,
whether
yeah.
it's going to provide good suction to be able to do that, whether it's going to leak itself, right? Which of course always is kind of a nightmare.
And are we at all concerned about having a electrical device that sits at the open end canister of a gasoline? Is that a concern?
I don't know.
Are we kind of putting, no, we're not a concern with that anymore?
You know what? I think it's worth a try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see there being a lot of fault points in this.
Yeah.
But I think the concept is interesting.
I
The fault
do too.
point is I think it does look like it's a little more antiquated electrical system. I like more the idea of the I like what you were describing before. This particular implementation I think just looks problematic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could see it breaking very easily. I could see it not having the manpower to kind of. I mean, it says it does a gallon, pumps 3 gallons a minute. I could see that slowing down over time pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Well,
I also,
it's an idea. I have a hard time relating, Brian, because I do not share in the
dexterity
gas spillage incident. Yeah. I would almost rather take that $80 and just get a much better gas can. One that does not spill.
Or what actually happens in your case? I mean, let's be honest. You take that $80 and you pay your sons to go out and do the lawn mowing for you.
Their
right?
problem.
Yeah,
it is their problem at that point.
Okay.
Yep.
When's the last time you actually mowed the lawnmower? Mowed your lawn?
I mowed our yard, our new house. We've been here 8 months. I mowed it for the first time this past weekend.
No. Okay.
I know, because I'm like looking all around, like where are my kids? My kids should be mowing the yard. Where are they? And both were tied up with things going on. And the yard needed mowing, so I broke down and did it, even though I was under the impression that having 2 teenage boys in the house, I do not have to mow again for a very long time.
Yeah. Well, I'll just wrap this up by saying what I'm hearing from you is that you have mowed your yard once, which means you haven't had to refill the gas, which means you haven't had to spill the gas around everywhere. Right. So there
absolutely correct.
Okay. So you just haven't recognized the beauty of this product.
I am not the target market for this product yet. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the easy no spill fuel pump. You can.
If I go mow the yard again in another 8 months, I will tell you at that point if there was any spilling with my gas can, and if so, I may be in the market for this product.
We'll revisit. Be careful. It may not be in stock at that point. Since when I mention it here, it's going to fly off the shelf.
Should I go ahead and add it to my cart now just to try to play it safe? Okay.
All right. So there's my first one.
All right. I'm kind of excited about this one because I can go so many different directions with this. Brian, is this an annoyance of yours? There's a mailbox in your house now. You have a mailbox that's out away from the house, or is it delivered right to your door? How's the
no, it's delivered to a common mailbox that's on our street
that you have to go walk to.
Yes, and
like
I have to actually turn a key to open it up. Yes.
Oh,
yep.
See, that's a problem. What if you get there and there's no mail? What if you get there and there's no mail? That's a lot of time you just wasted.
It's a lot of walking.
It's a lot of walking. I don't know about you, but I don't have time for that.
Well, I'm busy cleaning up gasoline off of the ground. So
you've got gasoline spills you've got to clean. I'm
scanning documents.
I'm scanning stuff left and right. I don't have time to walk to a mailbox. So what I need a wireless mail alert system.
Oh, okay. Do you?
So what this is, no more wasted trips to the mailbox. That's the first line in this description. So already I am sold. The wireless mail alert system comes equipped with a sensor and a receiver. Now let me describe this again for our audio listeners. The sensor is a rectangular box that you affix to the door of your mailbox. So imagine you got a mailbox that you open from the front, a more traditional mailbox. You open and it lifts down. This is affixed on the inside of that door that comes down. And what it does is it notifies you when mail is delivered. It does this because that sensor on the door is saying, "Oh, wait, if something opens, then that must mean mail was delivered, and I'm going to sound an alarm." You have a receiver that looks like an old 1980s pager that you sit in your house somewhere.
Oh
That
no,
is
you
your
don't.
receiver.
You don't sit in your house. You put it on your belt. Is what you're going to do.
It's with me all the time. I always know when I have mail delivered. And you put the sensor on your mailbox and you place the receiver inside your home for convenient alerts. And it runs on a battery, but the receiver plugs into an AC outlet. So I can't walk around with the belt. Sorry, I have to pick a spot for it. It works up to 300 feet away. So that covers most mailbox to homes range. The receiver will beep 4 times and illuminate with a perfect little old 1980s red LED light when there's mail in your mailbox. So Brian, poke holes in this. How does this not work?
Oh God, let me count the ways. So
there's a bunch.
yeah.
There's a bunch of ways. I'm being very facetious about
Yeah.
this. There's a lot
Yeah.
of ways this doesn't work. Yeah.
Well, no, let me approach it this way, Alan. Not that just that I'm going to poke holes in it, but let's talk about other ways that could happen, right? That you can do it on your own. Yeah,
I agree. I think,
Yeah.
but I think we have to kind of address what are the shortcomings of this implementation, and then we can talk about how would we actually do it nowadays. Yes, I agree.
So this one, what did it say? And I'm sorry, I spaced out on you for a while there. What did it say? Did it say the distance that the mailbox could be away from the sensor? 300
feet. Yeah.
Okay, 300 feet, which I imagine, knowing the way that they measure these things and try to give you the largest number possible, that's probably 300 feet of unimpeded kind of connection.
Probably so. I got to imagine, looking at the technology that's in use for this product, I can't imagine it being the most robust wireless system.
Right. So there might be one issue would be like depending on where you are. If our grandparents, Alan, their mailbox was at the end of a long driveway that was much further than 300 feet. So of course that's not going to be helpful. And they're the ones that actually probably need this to know I'm not going to make the trek a quarter mile away.
True.
Unless I know that mail has been delivered, right? So they're the ones that actually need it.
We lose the whole capability of that.
Right.
Here's my bigger issue. This whole system is built on the idea that it's going to alert you whenever basically the door to your mailbox is opened.
Right.
So the challenge here is that, yes, in most cases, that is a pretty good indication of whether you got mail. If somebody came and opened up your mailbox, okay? But, a couple things. If people are still sending things by mail and you have something put in your mailbox for a mailman to deliver or to pick up, like you raised the little red flag on your mailbox, well, that mailbox, the mail delivery guy is going to open up your mailbox, even if he's not delivering mail. So it doesn't really tell you if mail was delivered. It just tells you that someone opened the mailbox.
Yeah.
Somebody walks by your house, opens the mailbox, whatever reason, goofing around, being kids, whatever, it's going to go off. Mailman opens your mailbox, but then doesn't end up putting something in there. That's going to set off the alarm.
Yep.
And then does this get off track? It's like, okay, if the alarm goes off in your house, 4 beeps and the light is on, and you never go to check the mail that day, you wait till the next day. I assume that light is still on, so it doesn't really it's not really letting you know if mail was delivered that day. It's just the light just means someone has opened the mailbox. Is it going to turn off if it gets opened again? Mm-hmm. Like when you go to open the mailbox to get the mail, does that reset it? There's just a lot of implementation things I can see with this whole idea of just censoring when the door is opened on a mailbox.
Right. Yep.
That's my issues with it. I can see now how to fix it though. How would you do it? How would you do it nowadays?
The sensors, the wireless sensors are available in lots of different capacities, right? there are companies making these sensors for everything. We've talked about them before on this show, right? You could put a door sensor, a door sensor on your mailbox that once the seal is broken, right? Assuming now the question there is, can you put sensors out on your your mailbox, and will they reach your Wi-Fi, which of course is the way most of these are going to work. And assuming that you can reach Wi-Fi, which may be the case, that you could reach Wi-Fi, but the 300 feet maybe extends longer. Who knows? But if I were really interested in knowing when my mailbox was open, I'd probably put a small little door sensor on it, or a motion sensor inside that lasts for months. Right?
See, that I was going to go the motion sensor route.
Yeah.
Now, if I wanted to get really, and money wasn't an issue, and I just really wanted to always have the sanctity of knowing if there's mail in my mailbox, you find the cheapest Wi-Fi camera you can get.
Yeah.
You don't mind mounting on the inside of the mailbox. That works in like a night vision, works okay in night, so it has like some artificial night lighting to it. So not only do you get, it's a motion activated, meaning whenever there's motion inside the mailbox, you get a notification that, hey, something's happening inside your mailbox, but you can also look and say, oh yeah, there's mail there.
Yeah. Especially if you're in a place where someone might steal mail, and that may be a concern, right? You not only get that, but you see who it was that took your mail, right?
So there's that. So that's, to me, I mean, this wireless mail alert system is $70, which is not a ridiculous price for it, but $70, I could definitely get a door sensor affixed on the mailbox. But all that does is replicates what this thing will do, just lets you know when it's opened.
Yep.
But at least it'll let you know it on your phone or any other device that it's connected to, and not on this one receiver that has to sit somewhere in your home plugged in.
Yep.
But I think, if you really want to know, is there stuff in my mailbox, you go with the motion sensor that is triggered if something actually goes into your mailbox, like it's on the side of your mailbox on the inside, and it just knows, hey, something got pushed in there. I'm sounding an alert.
Yep.
Or go even higher with a little cheap camera that just will let you, that has a long battery life and night vision capability, and will let you see inside the mailbox.
Yeah. Well, let me go back to one of my bits from a previous episode, and you get a wise outdoor camera for $40. You put it in there, you mount it to the back of your mailbox, right? It lasts for probably, what do we say, 3, 5, 6 months on a battery charge, and you'll get not only a notification, but you'll also get a 12-second video without paying a dime per month. So there you go. I mean, there's some cool ways for $40.
Something has entered the mailbox. I get notified. I pull up my phone. I can actually play that little 12-second video and say, oh, there's actually mail there.
Yep.
So again, I don't go check the mail unless I get notified there's something out there.
Yeah. And then Alan, even further, the video, you look at the video to decide, is it worth your time actually going out to the mailbox to get whatever has been put in there? If you see the Sharper Image catalog on the top, I'm out there. I'm out there now. I'm coming home from work.
Yeah.
Quickly.
I'm taking an hour or two off of work. I'm leaving early. No, but I'm getting probably too deep in the weeds on this, Brian, but this is kind of what we wanted to do with this show. I would be concerned a little bit. I think you're partially saying that in jest about seeing the content. I'd be concerned about resolution and whether, mail's stacked on top of each other. It's going to be hard to see like what's all in your mail. Now, let me extend it a little bit. Okay. Because the post office, for business accounts, not in Hickory, unfortunately. I've already checked into it. The Hickory post office, where all of my business mail comes, does not do this. But
and by the way, not just business. I know where you're going, but it's not just business. So just throw that out. Yeah.
But the whole, it'll send you emails.
Yep.
With scans of the mail that's being delivered to your mailbox.
Correct. Yep.
Now, to me, I mean that solves everything, right?
Yep.
Because then not only are you getting notified that there's mail in your mailbox, you're actually able to see exactly what it is. And like you said, if it's all junk mail, then you'll say, I'm just going to let that sit till tomorrow, and I'll go check it then.
Yeah, so the post office does that.
I'm sorry.
And it's fantastic. Yeah.
Okay. Well, they do not do it in my area. So if you're not in an area where the post office is doing this, then look at some of the things we talked about, like the little $40, $50 cameras or motion sensors, and you can pull off the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and say I don't think $70 for the wireless mail alert system is going to quite meet your needs, but that's just my guess on that.
I think that's a one-off solution.
I'm really disappointed the post office hasn't rolled that capability out more places yet.
Oh, I'll tell you, it's fantastic. I actually don't go to my mailbox that often because I wait to see the daily daily email that I get with a scan that says,
See,
here's what's coming in. Now, I will say there's a little bit of quirkiness to that system. It's still kind of under development. I'll get scans of things that were addressed to my old house. So I still get the scans, but they don't show up in my mailbox. So actually, the scans are happening prior to them filtering out certain things and all of that. But
okay, well that's a process thing. They'll improve that over time.
But it's great. I can look and say, oh, that bill or that check that I've been waiting for is coming in today, and I know for a fact that I should go check.
See, I really need that for my business mail because my home, it's not a problem. My mailbox is really super close to our house, and we're outside every day anyway. It's the business, I have to walk to the post office from my building downtown and go in, walk through the whole place, get to my mailbox, do the key lock on it, and then to find out there's either nothing in there or it's junk or whatever. And I wish they would roll that out more places, but I know they will. I mean, it's not like they're only going to keep it in certain places, rest of the time. They have to try it out and start it in some communities. So anyway, that's the wireless mail alert system at the Sharper Image. I'm going to give that a pass at this point.
Yeah, okay.
And say I think you may have some better options. So.
All right. Well, let me jump in with my second one here. So, and I'm actually surprised you didn't choose this one. I thought when you gave me a teaser before we started here, you said, "Oh, one that's not needed anymore." I thought this was going to be the one, but so I'm going to jump on it, which is so. Let me just say that if this was 20 years ago, I'll even say 15 years ago. If this was 15 years ago, I actually would be pretty stoked about this. Okay. This is the cassette to MP3 player, and you're shaking your head. I know that you looked at it, right? You thought about it.
We had talked about having like one we were going to kind of surprise each other with at the end.
Oh, that's the one.
This is the one.
Okay. Well, so
it's okay. Let's talk
here you go.
it.
You were actually right on because our surprise was going to be what to give to each other.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, there's something about this that I could still dig because I do happen to have a number of cassette tapes still in my house, which don't get played because I've gotten rid of all of my cassette players. Neither of my cars will run a cassette anymore. So they literally are there because of my wife and I look at them and say, I'm not willing to just throw them away. And I can't imagine anybody wants to buy them. Right. Mm-hmm. But what this is, the cool part about this thing looks like the old Walkman, right? Yeah. The old Walkman player, which is just a handheld device. You slap the tape into it, close it up, press play, and there you go. But the difference is at the top of this is just a USB port that it gives you a USB drive. You drop the USB drive in there, press play, and supposedly it's going to then record onto the flash drive from your tape player. Okay.
Yes.
So super cool that you've got a ton of different tapes. If you don't really care about the quality, because I imagine the quality is going to be a little bit of a bummer here, but the fact is, if you just want to digitize those tapes that you have, get them onto a way in which you can listen to them from your phone or listen to them from your computer. Here might be a way of doing this. This is, okay, my screen is, I'm zoomed in a little bit much here. I'm thinking it's 55 or 65. That is 69.
It's $60 or $70.
Yeah, $69.99. The cassette to MP3 converter, right? Now, I personally think this is super cool. I would, if someone gave me this at Christmas, like, hey, here's kind of like a somewhat of a gag gift that I actually would take home and probably use, I probably would use it. The downside is I would use it for like a weekend, get home my tapes, and then it's done, right? There is no more use for this ever again.
You hit the nail on the head as far as the reason why this is a great concept, but not something to put $70 into, because you're right. I mean, yes, let's say you have a really large cassette collection. Now, I could argue that, well, okay, if you're an audiophile in any way, or you're a big music listener, cassette quality is probably not the ultimate in quality that you're wanting to keep these files at. And I mean, just as an example, the photograph on the Sharper Image catalog has a stack of cassettes with it. And one is the Bruce Springsteen album Tunnel of Love, which I will say is a good album. I've got it.
It's a very good
But
album.
guess what? I've got it on Apple Music, and
Yeah.
I can listen to it at super high quality, lossless, and it's great. I think the Digital Underground may actually be another cassette on there. I see
It
the word
is.
ground at the bottom.
I think that
And,
is
also, the Humpty Dance,
very good.
good song, good cassette there. But again, I have it on Apple Music and play it all the time.
Yeah.
So that's the problem is that, if it's one thing if you're wanting to digitize an LP collection. Okay, I think albums do have a different quality texture to them. Brian, you and I have talked about this before a lot about the sound of albums. Nobody's ever clamored for the sound of cassette tapes.
Yeah.
That's not really the sound you look for. But here's the biggest thing you hit on is, okay, you digitize your collection. I mean, it's not like you're going out and buying new cassettes right now.
Right.
So
Right. What else
it's a
are you gonna use them
one-time
for?
use process.
Yep.
Like when I digitized my entire CD collection, it took several weekends to do, but then it's done. And my CDs were donated or sold, and I don't have the CDs anymore, and I'm fine. So that's the problem I see with this. It's helping do something for a transitional media that we're not purchasing anymore and don't need it anymore.
And on that note, Alan, so if you are someone who has media like that you want to convert, whether it's VHS to digital or Betamax to digital or, any of those old media, you just brought up a really good point. Well, I think I brought it up actually, and you agreed. I wouldn't buy a device to do those sorts of things. I would probably rent a device, or I would borrow a device, or I would
borrow, or let me extend it out a little bit
use a
more.
service, right?
Or let's just say if you've got anything that plays a cassette and it has an audio out, like for headphones or whatever. I mean, there's some easier tools that are a little more universal that will allow you to convert that audio cable signal into a USB computer signal, and you can record from. And you're probably a little cheaper than $70, and it's universal, meaning anything you had on audio that you need to get converted over, you could do. So there's other ways to do it if you're industrious enough to want to do this. Again, I question how many people really need to do this right now.
Okay.
Now, let me say this: if you recorded a bunch of stuff on cassette, that's not music. It's not music cassettes that you can get on Apple Music. Maybe it's personal interviews you did with people. Maybe it's historical things for you, whatever it may be. Yeah, then maybe $70 is worth it to say, look, I just really want to do it simply. It's going to take me hours and hours to do this, and I'm willing to put $70 into it to have a device that just does it in one fell swoop. Okay, then maybe I think that makes a good argument for a device like this.
Yeah. Or if you have that mixtape that you gave to your wife back in the day when you happened to be courting her, which, by the way, hint, Hank, I actually have a mixtape that my wife gave me. And that's one thing that I will never throw away, right? I mean, I don't know if I'll ever listen to it because I don't have a tape player, but there's a mixtape. And so that could be something really cool, right? That has the very poorly done kind of, pulling it off of the radio / pausing it, going to the next thing, right? If you wanted everything to sound exactly like
nostalgic. You're right. You know what? I'm actually saying that, yes, there is.
For $70 though, you better have a few of them to do it, right?
Well, and again, I think it's just you got to do a cost benefit analysis on that as far as how long you're actually going to use it. I do think people that really, in all seriousness, want to look at converting any kind of old, like more analog media, tape, album, even CDs. There are simple converter tools you can use to plug up your traditional audio equipment and convert it into a digital USB.
Yep.
And it'll sound great. And it works with any of those devices. So you're not limited to just one type of thing. So,
yep. Well, let me just add one other piece about this that I just realized, and maybe this puts someone over the top to buy this guy, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Did you notice that it also has an auxiliary line in? So you technically could plug in some other device that has an auxiliary out or has some sort of audio out into this device, and I'm assuming pump straight into the USB as well.
I did not see that.
Okay, and I don't know what that would be. Now, let me give you one use case, and I just happen to think of this. Alan, you remember the bit I gave? Well, it's been a few weeks now, but of the headphones that I gave my wife that are underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be Bluetooth. They must be MP3 on the device. Well, let me
Yep.
tell you one of the problems with MP3 on a device like that has no connection whatsoever. You must have a file that goes on that device. Is you have to own it. There is no, you can't take from Apple Music and bring down an MP3 of something you don't own to put on this device. However, if you have the tape, you have the tape sitting in your closet of that song that you really, really love, or multiple songs, and you don't
Oh
want to
yeah,
go and
that would
buy
work.
them. So you
That
could
would do
stream
it.
them for your phone, but you can't put them on your
All
underwater
right.
headphones. So
Well, see,
there
I'll
might
tell
be
you.
small use cases,
Yeah.
right?
Since this is now, I found it has an input,
Yeah.
meaning let's say you have a radio and you're
Yep.
wanting to record something off of radio, or you've got an old, album. Yeah, I mean, you could do an LP, you could do a turntable off of
Yep.
this, and you plug it into the line in on this cassette to MP3 recorder. Then the idea is that it bypasses the cassette and will go straight to the MP3 recorder.
Yep.
Then, okay, $70 is still a little expensive for it, but it is kind of a cool function design.
It's a
Like
retro looking
to have
design.
this
It looks
retro
cool.
thing. It's like I can use this to convert anything.
Yep.
That's not bad.
What
It's not
I
bad.
don't know is, can you actually play the tape?
Like, could you actually hear it?
Yeah, could you actually plug some headphones in to that auxiliary line? It says
You know,
auxiliary line, but
it
I
doesn't
don't.
say. It says auxiliary line in for
Yeah,
converting other audio sources.
yeah.
Doesn't say anything about a line out or headphone jack or anything.
Because if it also allowed me to plug in some headphones and rock some old tapes, then you know what? That might actually push me over the edge to do something like this. So,
Hold on, I'm
ooh, okay.
Oh,
Checking
nope. It says monitor your transfer with the included earbuds.
it. Yes. Okay.
All right,
You know
did we
what?
just move this device from a
A
no way
no
do we
to
need this to a, you know
maybe.
what? We may be getting each other this for Christmas.
Oh my God. You know, if you gave me this for Christmas compared to the normal crap that you would give me or nothing you would give me, I would not hate you afterwards. I mean, I would not hate you after that.
All right. Add to cart. I mean, okay, there's something here to this. There's something here.
I love it.
So I have a device. I forget the brand name of it. Unfortunately, it's not in front of me, Brian. It's at my office. But I do have a little box. I think it was about $40. That is a converter box, and it is meant. It's got a USB connection on one end, plugs into your computer. The other side of it is the yellow, white, red RCA input.
Okay.
And that's a fairly universal signal, both for video and audio. So anything that can come out in that RCA red and white cables, I can plug in this box, and then my Mac sees it as a audio input that I can record. And it even comes with a little piece of software that'll allow you to record from that device and turn it into whatever file format. That's where I go to if I've got a VCR, VHS tape. I need to convert. I hook up an old VCR, plug it into the yellow, red, white RCA cables, and I can now digitize that video. If I have a CD player, for whatever reason, I need to get a CD converted. I don't have a disc connected to my computer. I can do it through the CD player. Same thing I could do with tape player if I have a tape player. So I just need the actual player device, and then I can convert it. So there are devices out there that do that. And maybe I'll recommend that for a future one whenever I can remember what brand name it is and all the specs on it. So, yeah.
Very cool. I mean, it doesn't look like this. But,
no, it does not look like this. It's a simple little gray box. It's pretty boring, but it gets the job done. This is a cool look. I'll admit it. I'm actually kind of warmed up to it now the more I've thought about it. So.
Nice. All right. So the winner of that round was Brian, is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, technically,
the only one that we put into a maybe?
No, look, I was going to bring that one up as my bonus one, so you kind of stole my thunder a little bit.
Did you get another bonus? Do you have another bonus in there?
I don't.
Okay,
that was my third one.
Yeah. Do you want me to give you a bonus? Do you want me to give you one to talk about?
If we got a few more minutes. I mean,
okay. Let me
go ahead and
let me actually say a bonus real quick, and just for the audience, what we did is we said, each find two that you think is kind of cool 15 years ago, but it probably doesn't work the way you want to. And then we said, find one that you think you would want to give to the other, right? So one that I
Yes.
would want to give to you, Alan. All right. So I'm going to give you one right now,
Okay.
verbally, because I'm not going to buy it. But
Yeah. Okay, good.
page 45, I am going to give you the acupuncture pen. Okay. So the acupuncture
Hold on.
pen.
Hold on.
Right?
I'm
You're
finding it.
getting to it. Okay. All right.
Acupuncture.
Acupuncture. Well, what, I don't know the name. Let me actually look at the name. The name,
Oh no, it's the acupressure
the
pain relief massage
acupressure
pen.
pain relief. Yes, massage
Yeah.
pen. Correct.
Well, first off, they need a new branding on the name.
Yeah, that's a big
Okay.
name. That's a big name.
Acupressure pain relief massage pen.
Yeah, and it says
Okay.
it stimulates and massages. Oh, wait a minute. I got to zoom in here. Stimulates and massages away strain and soreness with non-invasive electrical impulses. 4 interchangeable heads and 9 intensity levels block pain signals from reaching the brain for instant relief. The cordless design makes it easier to target the wrist, shoulder, knee, ankle, elbow, face, and other areas. Okay. Now, why would I want to give this to you? Well, one, I'm not going to use it on myself. So I'm really excited to see you use it on yourself and see what this actually does, right? I'm assuming it's providing some level of, shock pulses, little pulses, kind of like a tattoo gun or something like that. And I'm hoping it provides some pain, which would be awesome if that was the case.
So, interesting you mentioned this.
Oh God, you have it. You have it already.
No, I don't. But a couple years ago, still to this day, I have a lot of pain in my thumb joint area. Doing this,
gaming.
the motion, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The motion I'm doing right now for the audio listeners is I'm moving my thumb around in a circular motion, and it's painful. It hurts to do this. It's probably phone use. It's probably keyboard use. It's probably all of the above. And I did actually go to a therapist for a while that was doing some hand work to kind of loosen those muscles up and to kind of help alleviate that. And one of the things they did was the electrical pulses into the thumb area. It didn't feel great. I'm not going to say it hurt, but I mean, it was not a pleasant feeling. And it worked short term, but I still got the problems.
Yeah. So that's from the kinesiology professor over here.
Yes, Alan. This is actually where I'd like to kind of hear you, because this is kind of what you know.
Yeah. So that's called electric stem, right? Electric stem is something that's fairly well known, which of course this is what, in my quick attempt at looking at this, I actually thought it was a needle because I didn't read it carefully. I thought it actually had a needle. And I was like, oh my God, he has to try this.
And then when you described it as a tattoo thing, I'm like, really?
Yeah, no, I thought for a minute that it was an actual going to be a puncture type thing. So anyway, but I'm still not sure I'd trust Sharper Image with it. I'm still not sure I would trust that to regulate the amount of impulses that are going to go into
electrical
your
pulses
body.
sent into my skin based on this mail order online catalog companies.
But that being said, I will say that electric stem is something that's used often. It's to break up scar tissue. It's to you could also think of it as if you stimulate a particular area that has pain, it kind of overrides the pain signal by kind of taking your brain away from that pain signal, which can be a good thing. I used to use it all the time when I was in college. I had lots of arm pain that I would put on electric stem, before a tennis match or something, and it was really just kind of numbed that that particular location. So there are benefits for this. I would say I wouldn't trust, electric stimuli from just anyone. And of course, if this said it had like a 9-volt battery, I may be a little bit more excited to see what would go on with this, or maybe a car battery or something. Then I'd really love to see what was happening. But so that's one of those that I probably wouldn't trust. The electric stem certainly has some legitimate research behind it.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've still got my pain. I still don't know what to do about it, but I will not be going to the Sharper Image for medical remedies.
And I'll go ahead and tell you, I probably won't be buying you that one for
Okay.
Christmas. Okay. So I will find some other way of giving you, like, for example, the chainsaw food cutter, which is the other one that I would have said if you wanted something I actually think would be awesome to have. Right, that is for me. It's page 6 because I'm actually looking at the real.
It's really chainsaw.
Okay,
food
so hold
cutter.
on. No, sorry. I write notes down on this. Let me find out what the
Yeah,
actual
Brian,
name is.
what are you doing? You're killing me here.
Sorry. I didn't realize that you wouldn't be following my instructions. Okay, it is the Mighty Carving Knife.
Oh, I see it.
Okay, it's a miniature chainsaw.
Oh my God.
It is a miniature chainsaw that can be used to carve food, right? Carve a ham, carve a turkey. And this thing literally looks like a short 6-inch chainsaw,
Yes.
right?
It's so awesome.
That,
No,
my friends,
seriously,
is one that I would not mind you getting for me.
I just love the visual behind it because it honestly looks like you're just putting a chainsaw towards your food.
God,
that is so great.
If they would have put like a ski mask on the person that was doing this, it would just be incredible.
No, I want to have people over and get ready to cut like something, just like, I don't know, just like, like a pineapple, or something, and just have it out, and then just bring this thing out and just look at everybody's eyes.
And if somehow it makes a really loud noise, it would be so much better.
I actually want to be go like as I'm cutting the food. Oh, that's great.
So there you go. I helped you out. That's the one I literally would like to have. So
the Mighty Carving Knife. Wow,
please, and that is $99.99, which I imagine would be 5 payments of $20. So.
We should set up an account with Sharper Image and just put stuff into each other's like cart. Just not that we're actually going to click the button to buy them, but just say, look, I thought of you when I saw this, and here you go. We're going to like create our fantasy shopping cart from Sharper Image of things we want.
No, but I want to do this episode again. I want to do this, a few months from now. We come back and see if I can really, stump you with the Sharper Image wants out of this.
But let's talk about, just to wrap this up, we brought up 4 items that we kind of, were brought up a little bit in jest, and that, oh, wow, this is kind of either a random crazy thing or something that could be done so much better. But it did bring up 4 needs that, we have. I mean, we brought up the fact that, I'm looking for a way to know what's in my mailbox without having to walk out to the mailbox all the time. Because I'm lazy and I just want to do this as simple as possible. You don't want to have gas spill out.
I don't want to have gas
when pouring it from one container to another.
Yeah.
And you want to alleviate that. What was my other
basically,
one?
I've got another gas problem. That seems to be a common theme among our episodes here.
Yeah. I think title of the episode has just been determined. I want to be able to scan quickly, easily things and not always rely on my phone to do it. So, I mean, there are some needs that we're exploring. We have old media. We want to make sure we can convert to digital formats and do it in an easy way. So these are all needs. These are not like random things. It's just, we do question if what we're seeing in implementation and the way to actually go about doing it is the most efficient, best way. Hopefully we also gave you some other alternatives on a couple of them anyway, of things to maybe consider. That if you feel like this is a problem you're facing, there may be a way to solve it through some newer technology as well. So I liked it, Brian. I thought this was fun. Yeah, I thought this was good. We should do this every month or two.
There's the challenge, and I think the challenge is for us to sell it to the other one, to say that this is. Let me explain why you need this, and see if they can make the case for it. So it's fun.
I think what we should do next time is we each pick out an item. And we don't let the other person look it up online while we're describing it. We have to try to sell it to them by describing it and explaining the benefits and all. and then we can pull it up and take a look at it and see if it kind of matches what we were envisioning. So
Nice.
yeah, that could be a lot of fun. Again, we're not bashing Sharper Image by any means. We love Sharper Image. We think it's great. They have given us so much to dream about and fantasize about for decades of ways to live a completely automated, efficient life. There may be some newer, better tools to help us get these same things across that are available to us these days. All right, Brian, I think this is fun.
I think this was great. Yeah, this was this was a really good way for us to have an episode when neither one of us really prepared. So, it seems to be some of our best ones.
Yeah. Yep. It's been quite a week for me. I'll be the first to say I've been a lot busier than I expected. And, and I wasn't able to put my normal 30 seconds of prep time into the episode like I normally do.
You gave me a good 10 seconds, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Well, Brian, if anybody else is a big fan of Sharper Image and wants to swap notes with us or tell us their stories of how much they love the Sharper Image catalog or items they found in the past, I'd love to hear if you actually bought one from a Sharper Image and what kind of experience you had with it. You got to reach out to us and tell us. And how do they do that?
Yeah, they can send us an email at info@themesh.tv. If you want to write it out and use your handheld scanner to scan it in, you can send us that email as well. That's info@themesh.tv. And tell us if you've had some success, some good, bad, or indifferent sorts of experiences with Sharper Image. We didn't really talk about the fact that Sharper Image actually has stores that I've been to, and so you may have actually tried some of these things out. But I think this is kind of cool, at least for aspirational technology, ways of thinking of solving some problems that we have. And we see Sharper Image's approach, and then we can talk about ways that we can handle that same approach maybe in our own way. So info@themesh.tv.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening to Brothers in Tech. We will be back again in the next week or so with more topics, more discussions about home, family, personal technology. Brian, thank you for introducing the show. You did a fine job. And I just naturally eased right back into my closing role once again.
I was going to say, given that was the one and only time I probably will get to do it, I hope you enjoyed it. So
great. All right. Well, with that, we're signing off. We will all talk to you next time. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.